So, on Friday, we published this video talking about all of the logistics going into making the new 21 Pilot album, all the stuff we 100% know, as well as a possible timeline on when it will be released. And later on that day, we published the too long didn't watch version of that, just hitting the bullet points. And as you see in the thumbnail, it says the earliest we can get this album is in December. And then I took a step back and thought about it. And I mean, you clicked on the video, you saw the title. Now I'm not saying we're not gonna get the album until 2024. Justin, what gives? Well, I'll go ahead and tell you. Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, depending on when you're watching this. How's it going, guys? First off, hope you're having a good day today. Hope your day's going well, and I hope it continues to go well. If you enjoy this type of content, which I don't think you are, because you're probably mad at me right now, but maybe consider donating to the channel's Ko-Fi, link down in the description box below. Buy the boy a coffee, keep the boy sane. Anyway, let's get right into it. Of course, before we get too deep, there is a huge caveat to this, and that is if the album is done. If it's been recorded, been produced, been mixed, been mastered, record company has it, and we are ready to go. Which, based off of the pictures Paul Meany posted on Instagram, I don't think that's the case, because right now Tyler's in the Logic Pro session right now. If he'll send it to the mixing engineer, the mixer of 21 Pilots does everything in Pro Tools, a completely different DAW digital audio workstation. Of course, the way Tyler would do this is convert all of those files in his computer to WAV files, WAV files, get sent to the mixing engineer. He would do his business, send the files back to Tyler, then get sent to the mixing engineer. The mixing engineer probably does things in Pro Tools as well. That's the industry standard. And if it gets sent back to Tyler and Josh and Paul, they will probably be listening to the WAV file, the WAV, because that's the industry standard that you submit to companies to get your audio sounding the best and not compressed. MP3s, MP4s suck. WAV is the way to go. So I still think the album's being recorded, but in chance that the album is done, then in September and October release would be perfect. September and October is great because everyone is back from their summer vacation. Record execs, people going to school, college, and everyone wants new music. There's something about September and October that just makes you crave new music. And that's why Trench did super well, because everyone just wanted that new 21 Pilot music. So those 2 months, perfect. November, December, awful choices. Why? Oversaturation of the market. People want that last minute release of music, so you'll see a lot of artists release music then, and also because Christmas and all of that stuff, because once we hit November, Christmas music just starts playing everywhere again. I know 2 radio stations in the area that will turn whatever they're playing into, they'll scrap it for 2 months and it'll just play straight up Christmas music. You'll see Christmas music rise in the charts again because everyone wants to hear their Dean Martin, Let It Snow, their Frank Sinatra, their Bing Crosby, all of those guys. And so the market becomes oversaturated with Christmas and new releases. Now, if you released in early November, you could probably weather the storm and be fine. If 21 Pilots release something at the very end of November, early December, they'd probably be fine because they are big enough. But if they release anything after December 15th, they better hope it's a Christmas album, or else it's not going to do well. A lot of places say avoid those 2 months like the plague. Just wait for January. At least that's what they say for smaller artists like myself. Like I said, 21 Pilots is big enough, they could probably get away with it, but there are way better options on the table, such as, again, September and October, but also January and February. Of course, as we know, 21 Pilots' first major record release as signed to a major record label, Fueled by Ramen / Warner Media, the parent company to Fueled by Ramen, was Vessel on January 8th. And it's a perfect time to release music because there's not a lot going on. Remember what I said, in the fourth quarter of the previous year, everyone's getting that final release in, so no one typically releases music in the first 2 months of the year. Independent artists love this. You'll find a lot of indie people releasing music then. So if 21 Pilots wanted to make a big impact, these 2 months would probably do it, because like I said, there's not a lot going on. It'd be perfect, and I don't know, I think it'd be kind of poetic if the final album of the Dema storyline ended where Vessel was. So like if they both end in proximity in January, much like how in May Scale Nicey is released in proximity of Blurry Face, I think it'd be kind of cute and kind of romantic in a weird way if in late January you saw the new 21 Pilot album, and earlier that month you would see Vessel. I think it'd be really, really fun. And of course, then you get everything from March all the way to June, because artists love releasing music in this time frame. We had a lot of releases happen in April, a lot of releases happen in May. Of course, 21 Pilots notorious for releasing stuff in May, whether that be Blurry Face or Scale Nicey. Do I think 21 Pilots would go for the three-peat in May? I don't know. That month would look a bit crowded, but I mean, not exactly out of the realm of possibility, but festivals are starting to open up more. People are releasing their stuff because people are getting ready to go on tour in the summer. People are just getting ready for that concert season, so they'll often release music from March, April, May to June. You'll find a lot of releases. I remember back in 2021, Scale Nicey was being released. You had a lot of competition, like Blake Shelton was releasing something, Water Parks was releasing something, maybe BTS was releasing something that day also. There were so many things happening when Scale Nicey was being released. So much competition because everyone just releases music in this time frame. Especially it seems like in May. A lot of people like to release stuff in May. Again, 21 Pilots is no exception with Blurry Face and Scale Nicey. And then finally, you have July and August. The farthest away option, because I'm basically talking about next year at this point. A full year from now or 11 months. The good news, not a lot of artists release music during this time frame because everyone's touring, everyone's doing concerts, everyone is on vacation, so you don't see a lot of artists releasing music during this time frame. However, people still do because there's not a lot of competition. Like Post Malone, he just released his new album Austin. It's pretty good, highly recommend. And so people will still release it because not a lot of competition, so it's not out of the realm of possibility. I mean, still better than November or December, maybe not as good as everything from March all the way to June, but it's still an option out there. So, what do I think? Well, the thing to keep in mind is that 21 Pilots have had a history since Blurry Face of releasing an album every 3 years. Blurry Face 2015, Trench 2018, Scaled in Icy 2021, and odds are this next album will be in 2024. Now, in my head, being that we have had albums, 2 in the spring with Scale Nicey and Blurry Face, 1 in the wintertime with Vessel. Of course, you had 2 in the wintertime, but I'm talking about the major record releases here. So everything with 21 Pilots signed to Fueled by Ramen. So you had Vessel in the winter. In spring, you have Scale Nicey and you have Blurry Face. And in the fall, you have Trench. We don't have anything for the summer. Like I said, Regional Best doesn't count because they weren't signed with Fueled by Ramen at the time. So, to my head, the summertime is not exactly out of the realm of possibility, especially if the weather has something to do with the 21 Pilot Dema lore. Because after all, what's it say in Good Day? Would you say you depend on the weather? Every season has different weather, so the summer is not out of the realm of possibility. Maybe something in early June would definitely work. That way you say, all right, yeah, we have a 21 Pilots album in June, we have an album for the summer time, and like people would still be okay with it because people would just be getting out of school and stuff, so people would be for that release. But it's not too late in July where it's like people are out doing summer things, and like odds are, well, it's gonna be a darker album. So maybe that being this darker album, will spring you more towards the winter months, because after all, seasonal depression is a thing. So it could get released in February, a whole new month of its own. Nothing has been released in February, as far as I know, for 21 Pilots. Or as we said before, it'd be romantic, even poetic if it was in later on January with Vessel. So I definitely think 2024, but I'm getting swayed with what month we get it. Personally, of course, I'm one of the many people we'd love to see it earlier. So I kind of think February, March are strong possibilities, but if we depend on the weather, I'm going for June. And also, the outside kind of gives me a hint because I'm on the outside in the summer heat. And that is if those little tiny snippets in 21 Pilots songs of Scale Nicely play a part of next album's release, play a part of the lore, since every album is a reaction of the previous. Scale Nicely is a reaction of Trench. Trench is a reaction of Blurry Face. Blurry Face is a reaction of Vessel, so on and so forth. So this TOP7 will be a reaction of Scaled in Icy. But that's just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think down in the description. Not in the description, I can type in the description. You can. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. And oh boy, I'm so tired. I'm gonna go to bed, get some water because my throat hurts. But let me know what you guys think the next 21 Pilot album will be released, and I'd love to hear your arguments as per why. Until then, I'll see you all tomorrow with a Justin Listens To, where we'll be listening to, oh no, I completely forget who, Jakey. We're listening to Jakey tomorrow because DJ recommended it on the wheel of choices. But I'll see you all then. Goodbye. And more importantly, have a good day, and I'll see you later.